Hello test, hello test, hello test, hello test. Okay. Hello there. I been reflecting on the hit on Osama, not to be confused with Obama. Osama bin Laden, and it seems to me that we're really. I mean, the concept of him being taken out is, in theory, a wonderful thing, and what I question is why it took so long to find him. I remember hearing George Bush interviewed as to why we haven't gotten Osama, and he said it's no big deal, he's insignificant. And it's my firm belief that the bin Laden family told the various administrations to leave their nephew or whoever alone. He's kind of a hyperactive kid, and he needs the space. And overall, he's a good guy. And in a sense, he was a good guy. I think we gave him weapons to do whatever we're supposed to do down in Afghanistan. And so at one point, I think he was our man. In fact, Al Qaeda was our CIA used Al Qaeda quite extensively. And now, after they've used him and apparently pissed him off, and that was the strike. Not that I can justify, and I don't want to justify. They were enemies that killed a lot of innocent people, people who were minding their own business. And so now he paid the price, and I'm glad he paid the price for doing that. But the fact of the matter is that I think this attack, in terms of its bravado, I think was overemphasized, in the sense that how many troops could Osama have had protecting him in a couple miles from the capital of Pakistan? I mean, what kind of militia force could you have, a couple miles from Washington, D.C., without having people take notice and having information go back? It's almost like back in World War II, they had a plane, a twin-engine plane called the Mosquito, and it carried no defensive armaments when it went on a reconnaissance mission, because they would only slow it down. It was so fast that they'd rather have the speed than either armor or weapons. In the case of Osama, he needed to be stealth. He couldn't screw around, and eventually it was a couple of couriers, maybe with iPhones, that they tracked Osama down. But this is by far less of a heroic venture than the guys who tried to go into Iran and rescue our embassy hostages there. I mean, those people, guys, were going into a foreign country, a country at war with the United States. And had they, it's a good thing they never completed this, because it would have been a real disaster, especially if they lost a couple more helicopters. It would have been a real sad day for everybody. But my point is, they went into foreign territory. In this mission, we went into an ally, an alleged ally of ours, who wasn't launching jet aircraft. They weren't launching missiles at us. They weren't sending troops shooting at us. It was a super qualified team, and I'm not begrudging them or taking away their bravery. I think any time a soldier goes into battle, he's got to have a certain amount of courage and bravery, and obviously these guys were well trained, and they got a wealth of information from this thing. So even if they didn't kill Osama, apparently they got a bunch of records which will help track people down, and this is all good. But to make Obama as some sort of war hero at this point, that he led the charge, he was so brave to do this. Obama's falling in his ratings, and this was a no-brainer to pick up ratings, and it could have been. There's a thing out on the internet now. The Washington Times, I think it is, did an article on the fact that this latest birth certificate was a multi-layered PDF file, which means it was actually constructed, it was actually put together. And if it was just a scan, there wouldn't have been multi-layer. If they actually scanned the item that they were going to copy and decided to make it a PDF as opposed to a JPEG or whatever, this file would not be multi-layer, but they made the mistake of leaving the file in its true form and to make it multi-layered, which means it was created layer by layer to put the information in as they wanted to do it. Very strange to be indeed, and I think this this raid could be a wag the dog type situation, and Obama is willing to roll the dice as to what happens. I mean, after all, he seems to be wanting a total takeover by the Islamic people of that whole region. And if this might actually be the tipping point for Pakistan to overthrow the country, because although we probably wanted it not to be have anything to do with Pakistan, Pakistan has been doing some great things. And we have, with our Predator missiles, have killed a lot of innocent people in that region. And so, you know, the citizens there are really pissed off. So I just want to say that this operation was not much different than, you know, our ATF guys going into Ruby Ridge and taking out some people there with guns and stuff. I don't see this as being like D-Day, Normandy. Like I said, just by definition, Osama couldn't have had that much of a backup there in terms of munitions and all that, because he had to be low-key. If he had a bunch of drunken guards there, you know, bragging to their girlfriends that they're protecting Osama, he would have been discovered long time before. Why he chose to hang out there, I don't know. Maybe the idea is to hide out in a place that's so visible that no one cares. I mean, that's a strategy. But this birth certificate thing, to me, is very interesting. If, in fact, they were stupid enough to actually do this, this would mean that Donald Trump forced them to do something for his ratings and forced them to come up with something plausible in the long form. He did, and now it seems to be proved that the long form is bogus. So that's very interesting. You know, God bless our troops for being willing to put it on the line and doing what they have to do. But I would say that the troops that got involved in the hostage attempted rescue in Iran back in the Jimmy Carter days had a lot more at risk. You know, what do you think? I mean, you think these are comparable raids? It's almost as if they went into Canada. We went into Canada. And comparable thing, we went into Canada and took out who we thought we wanted to take out. Now, the Canadians might be pissed because we violated their territory, but I guess the United States can violate territory, and yet it's almost like this. What do they call that? The when we put the air cover over no-fly zone over Libya. I had joked about putting no-fly zones over all the border areas of Mexico, so that the Mexican government do that, so that we don't stop these oppressed Mexicans from coming over the border, or even in Wisconsin. You know, to help the unions up there, we put a no-fly zone over all Wisconsin, so that they can't hinder the unions from getting what they want. A little convoluted, but it's funny, actually, the concept of no-fly zones. But yeah, we can put no-fly zones over other countries. We can bomb other countries, but then when they bomb us, it's terrible. And I think people are kind of wising up as to the United States not being as lily white as we might want it to be. And we do want our oil, we do want our gas, and we do want to be able to go to Super Bowl games, and we do want to be able to go to the shore and take our flights. And for that, we're going to do what we got to do to maintain that capability. So, Osama, at one point we loved you, I think, and now we hate you. It's a love-hate relationship. You killed a lot of innocent people, so I guess you could say if There's a hell, you know, you'll burn in it. But then again, I guess we've killed a lot of innocent people too, in these various things that we're doing. And I guess this pipeline going through Afghanistan is very important. But the pipeline is really to get gas resources to China and Japan, and has very little, or strategically has really nothing to do with our benefit. It has something to do with the oil companies being able to get their product to market. So very, very, very interesting. Open your eyes and get on YouTube, and you can see some really interesting stuff as to what is really going on. So we'll see you. Bye bye.